Assalamu alaikum, friends. I am Movie Recap NL, and today I present to you the 2024 fantasy and warrior genre film, Kaijin. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your comments are always welcome. Smile and let's begin. In the Middle Ages, the Huns fought destructive wars across Europe. Today, the king sets out to defend his borders. The entire country faces attacks from flying arrows from the sky. Suddenly, a horseman appears, shooting behind the flying arrows at the attacking army. Marshal Kaijin quickly advances to the king's aid, but now it is too late. He is dead. The king's funeral is held. Kaijin is filled with long accusations and his name is heard everywhere. The warriors, honorable and brave, mourn the king's death with heavy hearts. Early in the morning, Malik Kriemhild comes to the king's chamber, the leader of the Ibdarmes League and a member of the council. The Prince Gunther, who has just ascended the throne, calls a council meeting due to the appearance of enemy forces. They need allies to fight the enemy, so Gunther announces that King Lambard must be imprisoned. Hagen informs Malik of this, but Kriemhild refuses to do so, and Nayla secretly agrees to support her plan. Soon, castle gates are closed and the king's loyalists witness the events with unease. Early in the morning, soldiers enter the castle and start to surround it. Kriemhild, watching from afar, notices one of the messengers acting suspiciously. Gunther, who is glad to meet them, learns that their leader is Prince Siegfried Constantin. Their ancestors were allies. Kriemhild. Unfortunately, one of the messengers betrays them by stepping into the street, alerting the enemy forces. The messenger's shoulders are wrapped in white cloth tied with a red ribbon. After this, the enemy forces face a difficult situation. The messenger's fate seems grim as he falls into the mud. This event is considered a disaster for the homeland, described as a curse. Prince Siegfried tells Gunther that Brunhild, the Valkyrie queen, has called him. The speakers claim that the enemy's unseen men have the ability to control and manipulate the battlefield with their skills. Here, Gunther discusses with the council the best strategy to respond to the enemy with their own army. The council suggests a counterattack. Gunther gains their trust. Early in the morning, the council informs Kriemhild of the preparations for the battle and thanks her for the support. The soldiers laugh and cheer as Hagen approaches Siegfried, telling him about a defect in one of his soldiers. Hagen pushes forward. Siegfried throws a spear at him, but Hagen dodges skillfully and assigns another warrior to engage in close combat. What will happen next? It is known that he came from a village near the Fire Mountain. After some rest, Gunther is informed by the Saxons and Danes about their support. The city is currently in chaos, but the enemy's troops have destroyed the surrounding areas. Despite Hagen's opposition, Gunther welcomes Siegfried's arrival. Finally, the man who came to the camp introduces himself. He says he has a gift from the heavens. Albrecht explains that Siegfried fought a dragon and killed it. After that, his blood was purified, turning him into an undefeated warrior. However, behind his back stands a powerful adversary. He gives Siegfried a sword similar to the one he wields and warns him about the dangers he will face. Before the prayer, Gunther approaches Siegfried, holding his sword and saying he recognizes him as an Oghuz ally. Together they prepare for battle with Kriemhild. The next day, the army takes up positions and at night the raiding parties set out. At night, Siegfried, who came from Barsha, attacks the enemy. At dawn, seeing the head of the Saxons approaching, the people lose their courage and flee. The Saxons pursue them, causing chaos and disorder. The soldiers, driven by victory, march with Siegfried. The bloody battle begins with the king's troops seeking revenge. The soldiers fight fiercely without hesitation, and when they see Siegfried among the enemy, they are amazed. The bloody battle continues. The best commander surrounds the enemy. The king now tries to kill him, but Siegfried protects him. After returning victorious, the people celebrate the victory with great joy and honor Siegfried. Kriemhild shows kindness to the weakened army. After some time, Albrecht comes to the front, healing wounds and bringing hope. It is known that he came from a distant land. Kaijin was the grandfather of the Huns who came from another kingdom destroyed by war. When his parents were attacked, a dragon saved him and raised him. He came to the throne after a famous battle. The king's arrival to the dragon's cave was never questioned. Seeing Hagen, Kriemhild thanks Siegfried for saving him, but Hagen says he is suspicious, though Malik does not believe him. From that day on, Hagen and Malik start to quarrel. One day, they decide to take a walk in the forest to settle their differences. One day, following his grandfather's orders, Siegfried takes the kingdom and kills the dragon. Kriemhild asks why he did this, but he gives no clear answer. On the way back, he scolds Malek and warns her. Siegfried asks people not to pay attention to rumors, but Malek looks back suspiciously. Frightened by this, Malek separates herself and Siegfried takes advantage of Culepate. Meanwhile, the war continues and the smoke from the fires rises into the sky. After the fall of Lombardy, Gunther reveals the weakness of their allies, Siegfried's. However, the queen's sorcery is suspected, which displeases the king. The queen's dream revealed this earlier and she was imprisoned. The king goes to tell Walter the truth about the queen and promises to free her. More. Oh, the queen who was loved, a nation living together, may Siegfried not disappear without a trace. The queen's teachings were fragmented. Hagen disappears with his goats in the prison. In the morning, Hagen informs Malek that Siegfried will no longer attack, but the queen refuses to believe it. Scholars bring a proposal to Gunther to set conditions for Siegfried. During the night feast, Gunther gives his blessing, but with one condition. To unite with the queen, Siegfried must take her to Iceland, where the Valkyrie army will become allies. Siegfried agrees but seeks more. The night turns violent and the warriors fight fiercely. Gunther falls into the water. Siegfried jumps in to save him. In the morning, the people gather and mourn. Fortunately, Gunther survives, Siegfried and the remaining Turks. Upon arrival, Siegfried orders the army to prepare. The soldiers ask General Senua to lead the army and request a large force. They bring a huge siege weapon from beneath the volcano. The gatekeepers mock the enemy and start to gather. Others arrive. Gunther realizes that to marry the queen, he needs to fight and win her. Most agree, but in the end, the leaders lose. The queen's sword is given to the Huns, and they understand they need the sword too. The queen comes to Siegfried. He announces his intention to marry Malek, but the queen doesn't care. A few days later, the castle is attacked, and Hagen asks Siegfried why he hasn't acted yet. Kaijan tries to leave, but the days pass and he refuses. Even Siegfried wants to leave, but Gunther remains firm and Siegfried goes to Albrecht's court. They fight together and Albrecht wounds Siegfried. After that, Hagen and Siegfried fall into the water. Gunther prays, suffers greatly, and soon others come, Hagen and Siegfried. The soldiers prepare for battle and the general warns the queen that if her blood is spilled, she will be cursed. The battle begins. The queen, appearing weak, does not come out. The enemy is amazed by her strength and power. Soon, a raven with a broken wing falls. This is the queen's blood. Returning to the city, the army sees half of the kingdom destroyed and is saddened by the weakness. The army strengthens and the political game ends. But for Gunther and the queen, this is not a joyful occasion. The next day, the battle begins to break out. Behind the queen's castle, the volcano erupts, seen as a sign of victory. The battle begins. Brunhild's army advances and the soldiers eagerly follow. The battlefield fills with corpses. Brunhild's army sheds blood and kills. Seeing this, the enemy has no choice but to retreat. The city is devastated. All the soldiers shout and encourage each other. Siegfried and Brunhild unite their forces and Hagen watches from a distance. Siegfried tells the army that this is their last chance to fight and asks Kriemhild not to betray them. Siegfried promises loyalty to Malek. After several battles, the kingdom begins to seek peace. Tired of this, Siegfried offers to run away with his wife, but after some time, the kingdom falls into chaos and rebellions break out. Siegfried offers to help the Oghuz heroes. People trust Siegfried more than the king, and the traitors cannot stand it. That day, his actions seem more favorable to Siegfried's cause. But Gunther, having seen Brunhild escape the castle, is suspicious and tells the king about Brunhild and Siegfried's secret meetings. Gunther warns Siegfried not to break his plan. The sword is needed for the kingdom, so he must fight. One day, the two. Hagen shows signs of weakness for Siegfried's son, but this does not last. He gives him a sword and teaches him battle skills. The struggle begins again with two unstoppable warriors. Hagen tries to defeat Siegfried's supporter but is injured. In the end, Siegfried remains. Hagen says he must not know that he is here, but he notices that everyone watches him. As he approaches, a sword is drawn. Hagen takes Siegfried away and tells him to hide. Kriemhild suspects that he is here and prepares for a fight. B. At the funeral, Kaijin admits that he acted for the kingdom's safety but accepts Malike's punishment. However, Malike refuses to forgive him and orders Siegfried's son to be his servant. This is worse than losing a son. That's all, friends. Thank you for watching.